The night of December 24th. A night meant for warmth, celebration, and joy. But in the heart of New York City, inside the Grand Carnegie Hall, the audience would witness something they could never unsee. As the first notes of the opera echoed through the theater, the lead soprano's voice carried an unnatural resonance. The audience, mesmerized, found themselves unable to move, unable to look away, wait, and to turn and to look at her fiancé, for it looked just like the woman, the Bauer, who had tried to force her to leave the hotel. The audience would witness something they could never unsee. As the first notes of the opera echoed through the theater, the lead soprano's voice carried an unnatural quality and weight. The Bauer, whose audience fled away from another day. The Bauer, whose audience fled away from another day. Then, without warning, flesh ignited. Screams filled the air, bodies convulsed, flames consuming them from the inside out, and yet, the woman on stage, her eyes burning with an unnatural glow, only smiled. Aya Brea, a young NYPD officer, watched in horror as the inferno spread, but unlike the others, she did not burn. Something within her resisted the force that consumed the rest. Something inside her was different. As the theater became an inferno of death, Aya found herself face to face with the singer, a presence beyond human, a presence known as Eve. The horror of mitochondrial evolution. Parasite Eve is more than just a horror story. It is a nightmare woven from real-world biology, twisted into something both terrifying and plausible. At its core lies a chilling question. What if the very cells within us held the power to evolve beyond human control? The human body is composed of trillions of cells, each one powered by mitochondria, microscopic structures responsible for energy production. But what if mitochondria were more than just an energy source? What if, hidden within their ancient DNA, lay the potential for a new form of life? In the world of Parasite Eve, mitochondria are not mere cellular components. They are sentient, waiting, watching, and now, finally, they have chosen to awaken. Eve is the manifestation of this awakening, a being whose cells no longer serve the host, but instead have taken control. Her power is absolute. She can manipulate biological structures at will, setting flesh ablaze, twisting human bodies into grotesque mutations. Her goal is singular, the birth of the ultimate being, a creature of pure mitochondrial will destined to surpass and replace humankind. Aya Brea's bloodline, the key to resistance. Aya is different. She alone can stand against Eve's power. But why? The answer lies within her bloodline. Decades ago, an experimental organ transplant unknowingly introduced a unique strain of mitochondria into her lineage. Unlike Eve's, Aya's mitochondria resist complete control. They grant her abilities beyond normal human limits, heightened senses, superhuman resilience, and an immunity to Eve's manipulations. Aya's journey is not just about stopping Eve. It is about uncovering the terrifying truth of her own existence. As she pursues Eve across a nightmarish New York, from the twisted biological horrors of the sewers to the mutated monstrosities of Central Park, she is forced to confront the reality of what she is becoming. The closer she comes to stopping Eve, the closer she comes to something even more terrifying, the realization that she is not entirely human anymore. The ultimate being, a new evolutionary apex. As the battle reaches its climax, Eve succeeds in bringing forth the ultimate being, a creature free of human limitation, designed to inherit the earth. It is the pinnacle of mitochondrial evolution, an entity whose very existence signals the end of humankind. But even in this moment, Aya's resistance remains. Her body, her cells, something within her continues to reject Eve's control, and in that defiance she finds the power to fight back. The battle against the ultimate being is more than a struggle for survival. It is a fight against an evolutionary inevitability. Science has long suggested that human evolution is not static, that change is constant. Parasite Eve asks a terrifying question. What if evolution was not in our hands? What if something inside us, something ancient had its own plan. The legacy of the horror. Parasite Eve is a story of biological terror, of forces beyond human comprehension lurking inside our very cells. But more than that, it is a story of identity, of self. Aya is not just fighting Eve, she is fighting the very thing that makes her who she is, and in that battle, she finds the truth. Evolution is not always progress, sometimes it is destruction, and sometimes the most terrifying monsters are not the ones that come from outside, but the ones that awaken from within.